across the desert and on up into the mountains. Our fellow passengers included at least 60 people and half a dozen chickens. Next came a train ride along the beautiful Urubamba River to a remote village where we met a couple who drove us in their truck into the jungle. Now, once there, we took a pontoon up the Amazon.
I flew many missionaries into a particular part of Honduras that it would have taken them 2 weeks to make this trip, where it took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to fly them.
There have been times when I have needed to get medicines to patients in a hurry that I wasn't able to take to them because the roads were too bad, and so the airplane has been able to help me out. It gets me to some of the remotest villages where there are no roads for me to drive my vehicle on, and it has really helped at times in transporting critically ill patients to an area where they could get better care.
Most missions who operate airplanes want their pilots to also be licensed mechanics. Many times they're involved in maintaining the airplanes they fly. In many cases, there's only one plane, one pilot mechanic, so it's a requirement. We're particularly suited to help a pilot who wants to add mechanic training and his mechanic license because we offer only maintenance training.
I was in the Air Force. I was in the 10th year of my Air Force career, flying as a flight engineer on AWACS for the military. My training in the military was more specialized training. If there was a problem with the airplane, I could call a specialist out. Here at Missionary Maintenance Services, you learn all of the systems for the airplane, and you learn how to work on all of those systems, normally without the help of anyone else to come to your aid.
The beauty of the MMS program is that we're preparing planes and people for missions. In the short term, we're preparing airplanes and getting them into the hands of the missions so that they can reach remote places with the gospel. In the long term, we're preparing people for missions, people who will serve well as technicians, but also fit well into the mission aviation program.
I'm the kind of guy that I have a hard time digging things out of books without physically having something in my hand to correspond that study with. And the program here is tailored to do that. You can go home and study about a carburation system and come in the next day and see one or work on one.
The apprenticeship program is a 30-month training program that prepares the apprentice for the aircraft mechanic certificate, both the airframe and the power plant rating.
We begin every day with prayer and Bible study on Wednesday morning. And we also have 30 minutes of studying our books. The FAA publishes 3 separate books to study for the airframe and power plant license. So we get adequate time to study for that. The rest of the day, from 8:30 till 4, is spent on the hangar floor working with whatever project we're assigned to. Each project does have a project foreman, and it's a trainee, which helps to develop that leadership skills.
We want to make sure that the people we're sending to the mission world are people that are ready to step in with a spirit of a servant and do their job knowing what's required of them.
I have seen people come through here who at first blush were fairly immature, and their technical training may have outrun their personal development. And when Dwight and his associates sensed that, they addressed that problem. And we try to have the personal development and the technical development converge by the time that 30 months elapses.
There's not only the technical skills that are learned, but also skills of working together in a team in a mission environment that is just a part of MMS. We really couldn't separate the two if we tried.
At MMS, I learned how to improvise making repairs on an airplane when out in the jungle. At the same time, at MMS, they also taught us a high level of safety. In other words, we would not jeopardize safety by making an improvised repair on the aircraft. I always felt confident flying out into the jungle, landing at the jungle strips where I knew there was no one there to help me do any repairs.
MMS is suited to serve the mission aviation community by offering a broad base of services, not just repairs of airplanes that may be damaged, but or even overhauling of engines or airframes, but also modifications that will make a plane much more useful to that mission in its field program. Things like extended range fuel tanks or short takeoff and land kits that are put on an airframe are typical of what we would do to modify a plane to make it more useful and operate more safely in a mission field environment.
One of the reasons that it's feasible for us to bring our aircraft from Red Lake, Ontario to Coshocton, Ohio is because their labor is essentially covered by their support teams, as are ours. And so we're not charged anything for labor, we're charged only for parts. So I think you can quickly see that that becomes a major savings to us, for which we're deeply grateful. They're truly partners with us in ministry and in mission.
They not only have the professional skills, but they really pray about everything that they do, because they know if one of these airplanes goes down, it's going to take one of the Lord's warriors down with it. And so I'm very, very blessed from that standpoint. Plus, they're very gracious in that they do not charge me for the labor of working on my airplane.
Well, we have MMS graduates all around the world now. Africa, the South Pacific, and South America, even in Canada and North America as well. What I understand as I get feedback from them is that they feel they were well prepared here at MMS. That gives me a great deal of satisfaction.
We're so grateful for what MMS is doing, helping train men to be good mechanics, and they're good with their hands. They've got it here where it counts, and they've got it up here, and MMS does a great job of training these fellows. They're fine mechanics, but more than that, they talk to them about how to be good servants, and that's the important part, what comes out of your heart through your love for Christ.
We can't accomplish the task of missions, none of us, even all of us together, but God can. And that's the most exciting part of serving Him, is that I'm being used of Him, whether it's in a big way up front where a lot of people know, or it's behind the scenes, or it's in the hangar, or it's in the air, that God uses our lives to touch the world. That's just the most tremendous part of being a missionary.